Hey guys, I was recently gifted some paper, so today I'm going to construct a small sketchbook for Plein April, which is an online art challenge that encourages people to paint outside every day during the month of April. If you want to know why I think the sketchbook will help me, stay tuned. But first, my name is Melissa, I'm a watercolor artist, and let me tell you about this paper. I've got a stack of Opus student grade watercolor paper. There's a blue sheet of drawing paper, and a huge stack of rice paper meant for calligraphy. I'm also adding this sketchbook paper that I really like for days where I don't want to be fancy. And of course, these giant covers I could cut to make a new sketchbook cover. And I'll need some kind of ribbon, craft thread and needle that fits it, then some glue, a box cutter, and some way to decorate my covers. I'm going to fold this paper in half until I find a size that I like. I'm hoping for something around 5 by 7 inches. I know that I'm supposed to be folding it with the grain, which means that one direction is easier to fold in half than the other direction, which is better for the binding somehow. I think it just happened to work out that way, but it wasn't intentional. Okay, so there are 30 days in April, and each folded piece is 4 pages if I'm willing to use both sides. So I'll need at least 7.5 folded pieces of paper to have a page for every day in April. And when you fold the papers and stack them inside each other, that's usually called a signature. And because this paper is really thick, I'll need to divide my pages into multiple signatures. I don't want to decide right now how many days I might want to use watercolor paper, and some student grade watercolor papers aren't even usable on both sides. So I'm just going to add more pages than I actually need. Like, screw it. So I cut way too much. So I've organized my papers into 3 signatures here. I do have some of the rice paper on the outside in case I want to jot down notes. This is going to end up being about 36 pages. I did not add the blue. For the cover, I think today I'm going to use this game board from an old game that was missing a bunch of pieces. So I'm going to measure what size of cover I need here. I would have loved to cover this with some gorgeous green paper, but I don't have any. And since I'm trying to work with what I already have, I'm going to decorate my covers with collage. Trying to collage with paper scraps instead of getting what I actually want sure made this extra difficult. So while I'm struggling, I'll tell you why I think making an April sketchbook will help me get through this art challenge. So I did Plein April for the first time last year, and it was even harder than a regular daily art challenge because you have to drag your ass outside to do it. And while BC is generally quite gorgeous, my actual neighborhood is more beige strip malls than it is rolling hillsides. And instead of a backyard garden, I have a view of the parking lot. There's no privacy anywhere. There's nowhere to sit. So I kind of need all the motivation I can get. And last year I was just painting on loose sheets, so I'm hoping that this sketchbook will motivate me to fill it within the April 30th deadline. That satisfaction that I will get to flip through a full book is a better motivator for me than to try for a daily posting streak on social media or whatever. It's just kind of lonely over there. I'd rather work towards something that I can hold in my hand, you know? My other attempt to motivate myself is I am also using this art challenge as an excuse to work on my 2026 goal of getting better at painting foliage. Acknowledging how much I need this practice in the moment might ease my anxiety when I'm out in the street, thinking that I should be doing something more productive than this, which is a huge struggle that I had last year. Focusing on foliage removes that pressure to find these picturesque landscapes to paint when the only places I have to go are back alleys and parking lots. Just finding a flowering bush or a patch of grasses will be good enough. So now I have a back cover, a front cover, 3 signatures of paper here. And the only ribbon I have is brown, but that's okay. It fits the theme. But I'm going to do the old way, which is to cut through the cover, feed it through, and then glue it down. I'm just going to mark a spot. I'm not a perfectionist. Also, I don't know if the ribbon's going to fit through this. We'll see if I can feed it through. I'm going to make this thicker. There we go. I'm going to glue these down. I found this in like a really old storybook, so it's foliage themed. Good. I think I'm gonna let this dry to make sure that it de-warps itself. Let's try this here. Let's mark either side of this. I get my sacrificial cardboard. I'm just going to use a thumbtack because that's all I've got right now. Push through all the papers. Hopefully they go through straight. Looks good. I'm going to count out 1, 2, 3, 4 for extra space. Try to thread this. It's a bit thick. I sometimes will use something a bit smaller like a craft thread or embroidery thread. Works really good. I'm just going to leave a tail and I'm going to put a knot on the other end. I'm going to go in through one on the inside. Sometimes it helps to use a little clip in here, out through the middle. We're at the end. To add on the next signature, I'm going to come back out through this middle hole again. Slide the next one in there. Use the clip if I want to. Put it in the next one in the middle right next to it. So now we can go across one more time, except I'm going to go under this one, back through here. This makes a little twist, back out through that hole, under the string, back through the end hole, okay. Out through the middle. Well, I hope I have enough string for this. In through the middle, out through the end, back through the string again. I personally like to go under this bit that's closest to the exit. Let's see here, because then you get a nicer looking twist. Out through here. My string is not quite long enough. I don't know how that happened. Underneath this one, through the hole. Try to tie this. I don't know exactly how this ended up being too short. I swear my method is sound. Usually. I might tuck the tail under, out of the way. Good. Okay. Now I have to add the back cover, which is technically the most finicky part. You thought that was the finicky part. The same as the cover, but in reverse, which is why it's so fussy. Gonna mark my spot. Try to feed this through. There we go. Now, if you pull the ribbon really tight, the binding is going to be really tight. And so you end up with this book that is, the folds will compress over time and become a much thinner book. So you kind of have to guess. I think I'm going to let it be a little loose. I'm just going to have it kind of tight, but knowing that this will compress over time. For the next step, it will help to have a surface of somewhat equal height to work on. So let's go like that. Just trying to straighten these out a little. This one's a bit long, so let's trim it. Glue, glue, glue. I'm gonna glue my end paper. Make sure it's the correct way up. Put it on there. Scrape all the bubbles out. And then hopefully when this dries, it will again flatten the back cover because it's a little warped just like the other one. Here it is, very handsome. Here's the back, kind of a mess. One cool thing about this binding is that it does turn into a bit of a ring bound because you can twist it around, use it on your lap and stuff. Got some watercolor pages, got some sketch paper pages. I'm concerned about how the back of the watercolor pages are going to perform, so that's something that I'll have to test out. Do you want to come try it out with me?